Welcome to Envision Radio from the United Way of Greater Charlottesville and City of Promise and News Radio 98.9, 1070 AM, WINA, and brought to you by the Jefferson School Foundation with Markey and Price here from downtown Charlottesville. Today, I am thrilled to be joined by Jala Tyler, the Marketing and Outreach Manager of LEAP, which is
the Local Energy Alliance Program.
Wow.
Hi.
Thank you, because I was having trouble with the acronym reading it. So thank you. Thank you for being here today.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
We're in the Ides of March territory. Any history buffs?
No, what does that mean?
In the room. The Ides of March was when Julius Caesar was Come on.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not no history buff. I don't know what. She got stabbed in the back. Caesar salad. What do you want me to do?
Two Brutus. That's all I
The
know.
salad
I
unto
don't know.
Caesar.
Ides of March. What does that mean? We don't understand.
It's the day when Julius Caesar was assassinated. So
I was right.
Yeah, it was
That was bad.
popularized by the play Beware the Ides of March.
Yes.
March 15th.
I did see that play.
Yeah. See?
Oh, what? Okay, well
We're
then
back.
March is looking
We're
up.
back. Come on, keep the public schools open. March is looking up.
The public schools are
my
done, so don't you worry about
Listen,
that. So
that's a whole other episode.
Yes,
but
another episode.
Wow, there's some stuff happening on Earth. That's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, we'll find a way to
We're just
feather
shaking
that
our
in.
and that really does tie back into environmentalism.
It does.
There's
It does.
I mean, we are sort of in a frontal assault on a lot of things. Jayla, how are you?
I am doing well. It is early. I am caffeinated, and I'm ready.
Perfect. All of the things.
Are
Well,
you
we're
a
happy
big
to have
coffee
you.
drinker?
Yes. Okay, so either coffee or tea. I switch between the two
Okay.
because I'm like, my body's a temple, and I do that for like 2 days, and then I'm like, I need coffee and sugar.
Is the tea the good one? Is that what we're agreeing on?
What?
It's like the tea, the thing that you're like, I'm doing well for my body.
Yeah.
If
Oh,
I
is
drink
it?
like a
Okay.
green tea,
Okay.
or I'll drink like an orange, like wild orange tea,
Oh.
and I won't put anything in it, and I'm
Okay.
like, I'm so like,
Yeah, sure. Yeah, right.
I'm doing
I only
it.
drink tea at the office, and that's just because we do like a tea time.
Oh.
Which really means leave your computer and talk for 15 minutes without doing no work.
I did a lot of tea time over there.
Invite me to the next
Yeah,
one.
like
I
we
want to
just-
go.
So I'm not into tea, but I do drink a little tea then. So I know I'm doing something.
What kind of tea they have over there now?
They have like Earl Greys. They
Sure.
have these, like,
That's a
little
Caroline
packets.
thing, though.
Yeah,
Caroline's
yeah,
doing
yeah.
the whole UK.
Yeah,
That's a heavy
so-
UK thing.
so
Yeah.
I just put it in water and just.
It's
Are you supposed to be doing? Do you do milk with your tea?
Sometimes, but okay. So do you put it in water? Do you put the tea bag in first and then pour the water, or do you?
I
are
put the
you-
water and then I put the tea bag in there.
Okay,
Is that wrong?
Yeah, it's technically. If we're not to do it like the British way or whatever.
Yeah.
I heard they don't play about water in their tea.
Yeah,
so
Yeah, no, that's a real thing.
They get upset. Like if it's the tea bag first, and then you pour it.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, we're living in a post-war world where we didn't have no milk and we started using water.
That's all right. We won that war, so we can do it however we want it.
Well, you don't count your chickens before they hatch,
It's true. Well, we had our time. We're
as Julius Caesar would have said.
we're moving in the wrong direction in a lot of ways, but we had our moment.
So how the show goes is we give you questions.
It
it's
goes
a
like
running
this.
joke.
This is how it goes.
We're just hanging out. It's fine.
But things come up and we're like, oh, that's funny. That's cultural. We just talk.
Yeah,
But
fine.
how we go, we start from the same place. We ask, for people who don't know you, like, how'd you get here? Where'd you grow up? And what got you sitting here today?
Yeah. So I grew up in York, Pennsylvania. I like to say Old York because people are always like, "Oh, York, like New York," like every time, and I'm like, "No, Old York."
Yeah, the other York.
It's very Amish country. It's
Uh-huh.
very. I mean, it's like an hour or so from Lancaster, which is one of the biggest, hubs for the Amish.
Mm-hmm.
And growing up, I know this sounds weird, but I was always like so into the Amish. Like I'd be like, "Oh my
Are
gosh."
you Amish?
No.
Oh, God. I was like, I'm so into Amish.
I like things. I can't do
Oh,
it.
okay.
No, but
yeah, electricity and
yeah.
stuff.
Is that the ones that don't have electricity?
yeah.
Oh.
They would like ride in horse carriages
cool.
down the road and
Yeah.
everything. And I was just always so fascinated by them because they had this, affinity for nature and like the
Yes.
natural things, and like I would go to Amish farmers markets as a kid. And anyway, I always kind of had this like draw or tie to like the environment and wanting to preserve it or wanting to like take care of it. And I know my mom loves to tell this story. Like when I was a kid, I came up to her crying and just like bawling I was like 5, and she was like, "What's wrong, Jayla? What's wrong?" I was like, "Why is there war? Like, why are there problems in the world?"
You were starting young to figure it out.
Yeah,
It's
she
like
was
every
like, "Who
parent's
is this
nightmare. You're like,
Literally.
oh my God.
Yeah, she was like, "Who is this child?" So I
Like,
always
yeah.
kind of wanted to kind of pursue, a justice focused
Yeah.
line of work, and the result of that is I studied biology at James Madison University with a focus in environmental science, and I have a minor in Japanese studies. So
that's cool.
I studied Japanese for 4 years, and then I kind of, after graduating, fell into nonprofit, literally.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Yes.
I fell
Yeah.
into
You
it.
trip and then you
Actually,
fall
yeah.
in head
Yeah,
first.
you do. Yeah.
Yeah, because I wanted to do mammalogy. I
What's
thought
mammalogy?
the study of mammals. So
Oh, okay.
I really had a passion. I love animals, right? I love animals. I love nature. So like I really wanted to study and do research with mammals. I kind of pictured myself like being like David Attenborough, you know, like,
Sure.
like Nacho.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But I'm
yeah.
allergic to everything. So
that'll
nature
do it
hates
too.
me. I am.
Nature hates me.
I'm allergic to everything. I got an allergy test like 3 months ago, and it was just my whole body lit up. Like,
Yeah, did you get all the
everything.
shots? Yeah,
Everything.
yeah,
When
those
you
are
were in
fun.
college, did you know that you you wanted to
Yeah.
pursue mammalogy, but did you know that you had major allergies
Yeah,
and you
it's
probably couldn't
something
pursue that?
Yeah. It's just something that bothered me like my whole life, but I thought like I could like overcome it. That's just not something I can overcome.
You were going for exposure therapy. You were
Yeah.
like, if I let a dog stand beside me for 7 hours today.
That works with my pets because
Oh, okay.
I have pets.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But like it just so it just didn't work out. So I ended up getting my first nonprofit experience with the Clinch Coalition down in Southwest Virginia. So I lived in Norton, Virginia for I guess 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a very small, very passionate grassroots organization down there. They're doing amazing work, pushing back against improper logging jobs down there, as well as the push that who is our governor, Youngkin?
Yes.
Youngkin. Yeah, Youngkin. He was pushing for putting small modular nuclear reactors down there, and we all know coal country is famously exploited. So the people who live there, who are now destitute and going without, were like, no, we're not having this. We don't want this to be put in our area first when it's untested and unproven, right? So anyway, they're doing really good work even now, but I applied to come join LEAP about a year ago exactly. And
Happy anniversary, workiversary.
thank you. I mean, and I love it. I really enjoy Charlottesville. It's a beautiful area. It's very diverse, which I'm happy about. I'm very happy to
I would love to see the demographic breakdown, but yeah.
I mean, everyone was very kind to me, but I did feel a little isolated, and I wasn't able to get my hair done.
Have you found somebody yet?
I actually go back to my aunt in Maryland.
Oh, you
because-
drive to Maryland?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
that serious though.
Is that serious?
If I didn't have somebody, I would drive to Timbuktu.
Yeah, well, the thing
If I didn't trust them.
That's right.
It's about trust
It
for
is
real.
about trust.
But you have to trust somebody one time.
Yeah, exactly.
So did you try somebody here?
I
Before,
did.
you don't gotta say their name, but did you try somebody here before you started going to Maryland?
Well, so my aunt, my hair has only ever grown when my aunt's done my hair.
It'd be just like that.
Yeah, so I was like, the woman I went to, she was very kind and she made me feel welcome and everything. But then she didn't answer my text messages. So
That
I was like,
happens-
I'm just gonna go.
Why is that an
She's
experience?
very amazing. Like I can't speak. In case she hears this somehow, she's great. I just was like, I'm just gonna go
You
to
know
the
who
You
you
needed
are.
more consistency.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I go every 2 weeks. So I was like, I need
You
to.
go to Maryland every 2 weeks?
Yeah, well, I also see my family.
Oh, okay.
My aunts, my uncles, everybody. So it just works out.
So you have a lot of family in Maryland?
Yeah,
Is that
I-
where you're originally from?
Yeah, I was born in Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh,
then-
yes. Amen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sure.
I always think Maryland. I'm like, yeah, black city.
Yeah.
Black city.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, you know,
yeah.
like I don't know about Baltimore particularly, but PG and them.
PG's doing a 180.
Are they?
Well, I mean, as most places do,
Oh, yeah.
right? I mean,
Oh,
that's just kind of the
God.
nature of communities is that,
So sad.
people,
Ebb and flow.
well,
Ebb
and
and
It's,
flow.
it's like,
it's like the home of Old Bay. It's crabs. It's
Yeah.
I don't know. You
Eastern
see the
Shore
flag?
and the whole
It's
thing,
diverse.
yeah.
I
I've
don't
never
know why I
seen a
just felt
city, a
something- I feel
state
something
love
for
their
the place.
flag more than Maryland.
It's like I feel something for New Orleans. It's like I feel for these places
Yeah.
historically speaking.
I
Maryland
will
and New
say
Orleans?
Huh?
Maryland and New Orleans?
Yeah, those two.
specifically.
Those two. Maybe Atlanta. Maybe Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh my gosh, Atlanta!
See?
I almost went to SCAT. Okay, so before I went to biology, I was thinking of going into game design.
Okay.
Because
it.
I was
That's
like
a pretty
Is that where the
diverse,
Japanese came in?
divergent-
no, I just like Japanese. I was like, how
I was
can
thinking
I
like
make
anime.
this?
I was thinking
I
like
like anime. I like
Yeah.
cosplay, all of that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
But no, so I wanted to go into game design because I'm very artistic. I love doing different art
Yeah.
stuff. But my parents were like, choose something practical. So anyway, I was
It's
going to
the
go
killer
into
of
green design.
dreams.
But when I went to Atlanta, the disparity in like wealth is insane.
I'm sure it is.
It's like jarring. Like I was only like 18, 19 when I went, and I saw like the very ritzy, well-to-do areas, and then literally right next to it, it would be like a slum or like a low-income living neighborhood, and I was just like, this is so sad. So yeah, Atlanta definitely just has my respect.
Yeah.
But how do
I
we
think
make
a lot
those
of places
changes?
do that. We just hide it better.
You know about
Right.
here specifically?
Just everywhere. I mean, I think
yeah,
you know,
it's all
like,
a
we just-
microcosm for the whole
we
thing.
just stick it
so.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
Put that over there. No.
Yeah.
How did you fall into your nonprofit world?
So I graduated from UVA,
Ooh.
and I didn't know that you were supposed to be looking for jobs before you graduated.
Ooh, fair.
No one told me.
Yeah.
People don't tell people.
Yeah, they don't.
So then I graduated from UVA. I literally went into summer break. Like I was going back to school in the fall.
Sure.
I was like,
Sure.
I just graduated. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, summertime. Went back home, laid down. I was like, oh, great. It's summer. I'm supposed to be doing nothing. I'm supposed to be just
Yeah,
chilling.
ain't nothing coming next.
Yeah, and then 3 months go by, and somebody reached out to me and was like, hey, there's a job open at UVA in the development department. They're looking for a young alumni. I was like, oh, okay. Well,
I
let me
used to work.
Word.
I said, oh, great.
Yeah.
And that ended up being fundraising for their annual fund,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Which is essentially, it's nonprofit work. It's raising funds,
I mean,
it's fundraising.
technically,
It is,
the university is a
it
nonprofit.
So I ended up working there as a frontline fundraiser. And after you do the fundraising part, like,
Fundraising is difficult.
hate it or love it,
Yeah.
I hated it.
I hate it.
It's something about me and my demographic asking for money that don't sit right with me. And so it's something about it historically. And so I just it was just so hard. But it gave me an opportunity to learn how to keep the lights on. Like you got to go out, you got to ask people, you got to cold call,
Yeah.
which is what I did a lot of. People didn't know me from the person on the wall, like a stranger walking down the street. And so it was really hard.
Yeah.
And so, I ended up leaving, but still was like, cool. I have experience fundraising. People love that. This fundraising job is huge because people love the the university.
Yeah,
and
sure,
so
sure.
people know that if you go there and you're fundraising, you can do some work. And so it ended up at United Way. And once you got into the United, that's one of the biggest nonprofits in town. So it's like, oh, now I'm a nonprofit and I can't get out,
I am stuck in this.
I don't know how I would transition to game design
Yeah.
after I'd been a nonprofit for 5 years. So,
Yeah. You're just in it. Once you're in it, you're in it.
is that how you feel? So talk a little bit about LEAP and things you do there and, what you love about it.
Yeah, no, I'm the marketing and outreach manager for the local Energy Alliance program, which is
LEAP.
She's got it. And I love my job. I feel like when you're working in nonprofit, one of the most difficult things is to convince people that you're not there to swindle them
Yes.
or put them in some kind of gotcha position. And I've dealt with that my entire 5-6 years in nonprofit. But in LEAP, we're really trying to basically provide homeowners in the whole state of Virginia with energy efficiency improvements. So whether if that's getting an energy assessment, which that's what we start with for everybody, but going into the home, doing a blower door test, checking to see how thick your windows are, going in crawl spaces where it's really creepy and maybe you never go under there, but maybe
I
there's
don't even know where my
leaking.
crawl space is.
Oh my God, you might not have one then.
Perfect.
You might.
Perfect.
But yeah, so we go into the house and we see where are there things that are lacking, and the first thing people want to do is replace their windows if they think their house is leaky, but that's actually one of the last things we suggest, because the combination of adding insulation to your house, which 9 in 10 houses in America don't have enough insulation.
In the walls.
In your attic and your crawl space. So you're automatically losing a lot of heat or air conditioning in there. So we first recommend doing insulation, and then we also recommend changing your light bulbs to LEDs. A lot of people still using incandescents. And just making those like little changes that all add up. Sometimes we even are able to replace HVAC systems entirely if there's, if the person qualifies and under a certain income bracket or over a certain age, the age being 60, a lot of what we do is free. And, people hear free and they're like, what's the cat? What's going on? No, it's free. we're just here to help. So, my job really is getting the word out and connecting with people and talking with people. And I don't know if you can tell, but I love yapping. That's what I do. I'm really good
Us
at
too.
yapping.
That's how you get into radio.
That's why I'm here.
I actually still want to do radio too. I'm just all over. But
wow, listen. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You give a person a mic and they can feed themselves forever. I don't know.
Well, also, you give them a mic and no camera.
Yeah.
Right? People in there wild.
I know.
So yeah, I love my work. I love the work that LEAP does, and I just know that we're making an impact. We've been around for 15 years, and in the Charlottesville area, and there's still so many people who don't know, what we do, and
right.
So I love that my job is connecting with people and showing them that there are resources in the area that they can use to save money because times are hard right now, especially.
Better get your installation today.
Right.
Who knows about tomorrow?
Yeah. So anyway, I really love my job and the work that we do. So
why Charlottesville?
Why am I here in Charlottesville?
So you leave Clinch?
Yeah, that was
leave Clinch in South Virginia.
Yeah.
Southern Virginia. Why? What made Charlottesville so appealing to you? Was it just LEAP? Did you come here for LEAP?
I basically came here for LEAP, but
okay.
Honestly, one of my good friends, her name is Kayla, so Jala, Kayla. She
twins.
Yeah, she works for Building Goodness Foundation, and she does amazing work there. They're a partner organization of LEAP. And she moved to Charlottesville, and she was like, "I'm taking you with me." And I was like, "Okay."
There you go.
You said, "Look, okay."
Yeah. So because of her, I knew about the position.
You knew about the okay.
And then I made the move here, and I haven't looked back.
How do you
love
like
here.
it? Oh.
I want to stay here.
Okay.
It's a beautiful area. Everyone's so kind, and that's also part of why I went to James Madison, because I was in high school in Pennsylvania, and I didn't really like the atmosphere. And my mom heard from her friend, like, "Oh, James Madison University, everyone's so nice there. They have, they shut down the town for everybody, for all the new students to come in and explore and everything." So I went to JMU, and I was like, I'm going here. I visited, and I was like, this is my school. And so this whole area, basically, I just feel like I have a really nice connection.
Were you trying to move south when you were from Pennsylvania? Were you trying to get south?
No, not necessarily. I just kind of went where my heart led me, My sister's heart led her to California. Mine did not lead me that far.
Wow.
You cannot take the East out of the girl. Cause
she went and she was there for 10 years. And I was like, I could not do that. But she studied theater there.
Wow.
And that's where you need to be.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's true. You
Hollywood.
That's right. It's a long flight.
What is it? 8?
To LA? 6? I mean,
That's
you can
not that bad.
you can but
That's a long time
here's what's weird though. You can go to London, you can go to LA.
In 6?
And about the same time.
Oh,
London's like 6
interesting.
I didn't know
and a half.
that. That is interesting.
I flew DC to London.
Would you rather go to
about
London or
6 and a half.
California?
Me? London.
What about you?
I'd rather go to London, probably.
Food's terrible. You want to talk about history?
London
like-
or California?
That's bland.
No, in England, right? Because again, talking
It's
about colonial
bland.
history, like England has no culture, right? Because their entire history is just colonization, right? So
Yeah, they colonized all these places with spices.
That's
but
exactly
there's
right.
no food.
So you know where there's really good ethnic food is
London.
London proper. Best
Yeah.
Indian food I've ever had.
Yeah.
And again, as someone
Really?
I've never been to India, but
They have really good cultural
incredible cultural setups
Yeah,
because
yeah,
again,
yeah.
their whole colonial history is just taking over stuff. Thai food's excellent.
Interesting.
Bizarro. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah, I gotta get to London. Especially I already did the 6 hours to
If you're
LA.
just going the
Might
other
as
way,
well
just
go
pop
the
out.
other way.
Pop out
But
the
you
other
gotta go over the
direction.
ocean.
That is true.
And planes ain't like being built like they used to.
It
is time.
I knew she was going
It is
immediately.
time. It is time for you to get back to clapping when we land, people. Today, like the aunties taught us, it's time to clap when you land.
That is true.
I just want to go to London. I want to go to England because I want to live out my Bridgerton stuff. I want to put on a dress and I want to stay in a castle.
And be
I
posh.
yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want.
Okay. All right. You can do all that
Marky,
too.
if you go with me.
Yes, let's go to London.
Y'all got the
I'm
tea
trying
thing
to travel.
going on already.
I'm definitely trying to travel.
Yeah.
Give me a visa.
Okay. You don't need a visa to go there.
Unless
you're staying
it's
over
funny
there.
because I lost my passport.
Oh,
it's a terrible time to lose your passport.
Yeah.
But I went and got it. I went to the post office to get a picture and get it my new and report it stolen, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, so I'm on my way waiting for my new passport so I can travel this year.
There you go.
Mine expires in a couple years. I'm like, maybe I should just get it done now because we don't know what's going to happen.
But you can't use it how many months before it expires? I thought there was like a law, not a law, but like if it's about to expire in 2 months, you can't use it 2 months out or something like that. I don't know the law. I don't know the rules. Nobody does. So
no one does. Everything's changing.
Yeah, who knows? Mine's 27. I will say, if you're just joining us, this is Envision Radio from the United Way of Greater Charlottesville and City of Promise, News Radio 98.9, 1070 AM WINA. Price and Market here with Jala Tyler of LEAP. And again, big thanks to our sponsor, our friends, the Jefferson School Foundation, the proud owner of the Jefferson School City Center here in town. So tell us, here's my my big question sort of for everyone who's doing environmental related things is like, in the context of everything that happens legislatively, in the context of sort of what we know and what we read and what we hear, I mean, how much do individual actions matter? Do they matter?
That's a good question.
From a standpoint of, if we say, okay, if you're saying, hey, look, I think it's really important for you to get more efficient insulation and change your light bulbs. I go, cool, I love that. That makes sense on a micro scale. And then we're like, oh, look at that empty jet flying back and forth across, right? And so I think the argument has always been like, why does any of this matter as individuals if the legislative context doesn't change, right? If we keep saying, look, the way that we are, we're trying to like go back to coal and people can just buy and sell carbon credits to, right? There's like all this huge ticket stuff that we really can't seem to move. So like, why would I not just keep using plastic?
Well, I think that's really easy. First of all, that's a really good argument to put forward. But I also think that we're not here to like bend over and just accept things as they are, right? Part of why we do the work we do is to educate people, first of all, who don't know that there are other options, but also to feel like you are making a difference. As we are in this world, especially as things are going everywhere, and all of us are just checking Twitter all the time, and just like there's like
I need to do a
everywhere.
media hiatus.
I think we could all benefit from that.
My time that I can look at stuff.
That's really good. I need to get an app.
Yeah,
because I doom scroll all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I'm on my phone in bed and I'm like, oh god, no.
It's hard.
It's
you lose track.
Is doom scrolling different than just normal scrolling?
Yes, because you can't stop and like you're getting anxious about it.
You're getting
anxious.
Can't,
like
you see bad on purpose, right? It's a blitz.
Okay.
You're getting bad news on bad news, and there's nothing you can do about it from your. You're engaging. You're not engaging positively in the content because none of the content is positive.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Scrolling and you see a TikTok of somebody dancing. Oh, that's fun. I'll just keep doing that, but it's not that. Our media, in fact, is negative on purpose, and so you're
because it makes you stay longer.
Yeah, because you're like, well, I have to see. Well, now I'm in the comments, and now we know that oil spilled and killed 6 ducks.
No,
in the
ducks.
Amazon. I don't know about geography, but
no,
it's doom scrolling. Yeah, it's not just like regular scrolling.
Interesting. Okay, this is where I know I've officially aged out of certain things.
Good for you.
That's good. I think as I get older, I'm like, I'm done with it.
I'm so done with it.
I
don't know where I'm gonna get my fun though.
5 years,
I'm getting sick of it too.
We can go painting together. I want to take painting classes.
I love a wine and sip.
Oh my gosh, let's do it.
I love a wine and sip. Where's that? There's a place.
Downtown, isn't it?
Yeah, it's downtown.
Yeah.
God, the name's escaping me.
Picasso Swig?
Oh, that's it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, you should.
Invite me to the. I want friends. Invite me to things.
Yeah.
Yes, let's do it. You should have told me before this because I'm on my way to a Glorilla concert.
Are you really?
Yeah, Glow. Stomping on stomping. Yeah, that's. I should probably after this. I'm gonna go listen to all the albums. I already listened to them, obviously, but I might need to get the words right.
Where is it?
That sounds
It's
fun.
in DC at the Anthem. But had you told me I don't know half the people. That's the type of thing I do. I'm a friend of a friend trip girl. So yeah, you should let me know because I'm.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah. So half the people that I'm on this trip with, I do not know.
Because
I'm a friend of
you're
people.
Cool to be just tangentially connected with the thing.
That's how I usually make friends. I have a friend who trusts me to be with other friends, and so we are all friends of friends. And so she drags me all the time.
You're just easy to get along.
Yeah.
With.
So she knows that I'm a get along to go along. So she's like, "Oh, do you want to go to the girls' class?" I was like, "Sure." She's like, "Oh, I'm going with 7 other people. Would you mind?" I was like, "No." She's like, "Okay, we get in the Airbnb. I'm gonna put you in the group chat." I was like, "Okay." Literally, do not have a number for 4 of these people. But we chit-chatting. They sitting, what everybody wearing, where we going after the club, another club, bus,
Really?
club, bus, train. Yes. I'm going to know them when I get down there on Friday to the Airbnb because I'm off tomorrow. But that's it. I'm a girl who likes to have a good
That's
time.
wonderful.
Are you like that too?
No.
She's like, I like my tea.
Me neither. I'm not like that.
I
doing all
stay inside and I watch TV and I play
Yeah.
video games and I go to bed. That's
I play video games as well.
what do you play?
So I have a Nintendo Switch and I play Stardew Valley. Like,
Oh my gosh, I love Stardew
I
Valley.
love. We should be friends.
Yeah, we should
on
be
there.
friends. We're both
I got a
we'll
little
talk.
farm.
But my whole point is we're in this world where there's not a lot of things we can control. So
Okay.
when you're feeling anxious about the environment, about the state of the world, the one thing you can control is yourself and your actions, and you can be proud in your actions. So by making those changes towards a more efficient lifestyle, knowing you're not putting out as many emissions as your neighbor or even, the power plant down the street, you can feel a sense of contentment. Not only that, but making these changes saves you money. So like we did.
That's a good sell.
That's a good argument. That's a good argument.
like, you
Yeah.
really
Good
did
argument,
that.
yeah.
Well, because utility bills are, going to just keep going up. I think as
Yeah.
we're seeing, like, costs of living are just
Sure.
increasing, especially here. Cost of living is just increasing exponentially. So by making these changes, you can save money on your energy bills. So adding insulation, making sure the house is as secure as possible and not leaking will, in the end, result in a more comfortable, cozier climate for your home. So that's really what we focus on because a lot of people, especially those who are under a certain income bracket and who get these for free, that's what they look for. That's
Right,
that's
we're saving a dollar, trying to save a dollar.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's
Yeah, it's
about
about
value.
saving.
Exactly.
Do
The
you guys-
environmental aspect is really a bonus.
Yeah.
For
Interesting.
people.
Do you guys do or just is there a yearning organizationally to do more legislative bits and pieces, right? So I think about the way that Europe has handled things like cars, right? And we have all this, we have all the data and the research and this, that, and the other about cars, and people are like, whatever, because it's convenient, right? Like we are a culture of convenience,
Yeah.
full stop.
Period.
But you read all these stories about, sort of Dutch culture, Danish culture, where they said, we took this bridge and made it a bike path. Now you just can't drive on it, right? We're not trying to persuade you or twist your arm. Like we have created an entirely different context whereby now what we want you to do is easier. There feels like there's this fundamental disconnect in a lot of American society of like the thing we want you to do and then the ease with which it gets done, right? We want you to take public transportation. We want you to drive less. We want you to da-da-da. We're like, okay, cool. Does the metro work? We're like, nope. We're like, is it reliable? We're like, nope. Does it go to where I need it to go? We're like, nope. And we're like, why is everybody driving? Right?
It comes in at 10 a.m. and then
Yeah.
midnight.
That's right. But the crazy thing is that in Europe, like it is the most efficient. If that thing says it leaves at 10:17, it's out. Right? It's like it's just built differently. So I wonder, as an organization, is there stuff as you guys grow? Are you saying, hey, there is a legislative play here. There is opportunities for us to say, hey, maybe the best way to move some of this stuff forward is to change the context in which we have the conversations, right? So instead of saying, hey, dad of 2 kids, like drive less, right? It would be easier for me to do that if
Right.
whatever those things were, right?
Yeah, so we are partnered with the city of Charlottesville and with Albemarle County, and the way that we legislatively, if you could call it that, are looking to make it more accessible for people or easier for people is through the Energy Resource Hub that we just launched earlier this month. And we actually just had a party on Tuesday, and it was very fun. And we had cupcakes and pizza, and people got to, come in.
We
and
don't get invited to nothing.
We don't get invited enough.
That's crazy.
I will invite you guys next time.
It's so crazy because when your family, when you get into business, you go to college, and your family hasn't gone to college, and they're like, "Oh, you're so famous! Like you go to work every day, you go to your job, and you're like." No, I just go to. We're like they think you're. I feel like my family thinks I'm famous. They're like, we seen you on the TV last week. Okay, it's not that big a deal to me. They were like,
Yeah.
to your, like.
Yeah, y'all
But I mean, I can't even get an
blowing
invite
up the
to the
community
party.
connections. Yeah, I don't know
I
anybody.
will-
know.
I will
Thank
invite
you.
you next. Well,
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, oh, you think I'm big time.
I did circulate it to a
job.
few partners, but basically the Resource Hub is just meant to be a free resource, it's in the name, for people to come and learn about different energy efficiency methods, learn about tax incentives and rebates that they get for going with more energy efficient like appliances or adding insulation to their home. Just things that are accessible but people don't know about.
I think a lot of
and amplifying.
Yeah, I think about a lot of the work is about education. Like people just don't know what they don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, so I don't think we would take a legislative focus where we would be like going to the General Assembly and trying to push for certain bills, but rather we are trying to work within the current system that we're in and just make sure people know what's available to them, especially as we're kind of navigating into unknown territory. And now there's this situation of, well, will these things last? Will these benefits even last after this year, right? Just making sure that the information's out there and finding different ways and partnering with like the city is a really big way that we have.
I actually just realized maybe like a week ago, like, dang, there are programs that exist right now that I could be doing to get things that, like, because I'm young and, like, for home ownership, for example.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I could be getting a loan through a program that helps me put the down deposit.
Yeah.
And, like, if I don't do that in the next 2 months.
Yeah, young for long.
It's over.
Yeah, young
Wait,
forever.
how long do you have? I thought it was just like first-time home buyers.
Yeah, so I don't have a home. I don't have
a home.
Like,
I don't have
so
a
I
home.
was just now. So I actually just now am looking for a realtor.
Oh, wonderful.
So yeah, I
got you.
yeah, like a
I
pre-approved.
got a realtor for you.
Okay, well, I'll workshop some, but I did. Someone just
There's a lot of. It is funny. This is a town
I don't know
that
how
is-
it works. Somebody sent me a name,
Well,
an
listen,
email.
well, first of all, I mean, look, it's a town that's lousy with great realtors, but you got, I mean, the folks involved in the United Way, just call Eddie, call like Sasha. Those people are excellent. They're great.
Okay, well, somebody gave me a family member already gave me a name to a realtor,
That's
so
fine.
I reached
There's a lot
out,
of good realtors in
and so
town.
like they were talking about first time home buyer program, blah, 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 like you should probably get started if you want to. Who knows if the program will exist next year? So it's like hopping on the train to do those things because like we don't know if those things will exist. So I was like, dang, okay, let me get the first home buyer program down then.
Yeah.
So.
The amount of information, I mean, there is a real, in all things, in home buying and the environment and all that, what I've found is that there is the people who are able to navigate these systems know stuff.
Yes.
Right, you know
That's the worst
stuff, right? And I mean, you think
because
about,
you don't know.
I was reading something the other day about all these rich dudes and how, I mean, how is it that like all these billionaires don't file taxes, right? Because they don't have any liquidity, right? And so, you buy stock, you borrow against your stock, you don't pay any of the capital gains, earn, blah, 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 blah. But it's that kind of thing, right? It's like the way that they can manipulate those things. So much of that's down to information, right?
Yeah.
If you know where to go, who to call, how to do the stuff, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, there's like those things start to compound.
Just financial literacy.
There's a lot of
Yes.
there's a lot of that too, and just sort of how little things little things become big things. So when we think about the work of Leap and your work and the whole bit and pieces of it, I mean, what is that? Is the Energy Hub what's the most exciting thing that's on the horizon right now? Is it that? I was just reading some stuff about that. That is real recent. That's the reports are from
He on the website.
the reports are from
He
yesterday.
on Instagram
right?
looking at
New resource hub helps with energy assessments. Like that was March 11th.
Launch.
Yeah. So it was Community Climate Collaborative and Leap, and I mean, that's a big deal. Like that's a big deal.
I would say
Is there
that's
the right
most
amount of
exciting
excitement about that? Like,
yeah, we had about 40 people come to the party.
Okay, good.
And Marky's like, what? What about
Yeah, should have been 42, but we don't. Whatever.
I will invite you guys next time.
That's
We're
fine.
actually trying to have in-person events like every other month or so. So you guys would definitely be invited. But yeah, no, we had 40 people come out to the party and inform themselves on the different incentives that are available for the tax season coming up. And we also have an energy navigator. Shout out to Rosina. She's new.
Shout out, Rosina.
Nice.
She's amazing, and basically what we're hoping is for people to have one-on-one free consultations
love it.
about their energy efficiency needs. So whether if that's getting an assessment with Leap, or maybe you're a small business owner and you want to make sure your building is up to code or energy efficient, as energy efficient as possible. We can work with C3, or you can take advantage of the city's incentives and rebates that they offer for making changes you've already done. So it's a lot of flexibility, a lot of leeway. And it's starting with Charlottesville and Albemarle, and we just really want to focus on the place that we've been at for 15, 16 years. Also, we have Solarize Virginia, which is a solar support program, and that's less focused on like energy efficiency methods and more focused on people who want to go solar and have the means to go solar, because solar is very
Solar seems
expensive.
like a rich game.
Can
I don't know
I
if
get
it is.
solar panels?
Huh?
Should I be getting solar
Yeah.
panels?
So
I mean,
he's
if you
the
can
person,
get solar
the
panels,
demographic.
I would say you should get solar panels.
Because they can't. The thing I always hear about solar is like they can't stop the sun.
Yeah.
Can't stop the sun. Well, here's my thing.
You
Like,
can,
I've got
dig
two-
less.
Yeah,
you
that's
can
right.
mine less.
Mm-hmm.
But can you get the sun to act less?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. I got a house that faces north, and I got 2 little kids that are going to get older.
Okay.
So I'm thinking now, like, it's going to get more expensive
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
do the stuff in my house
yeah.
when these 2 jabronis start
PCs.
leaving doors open or whatever they're doing.
Lights
Right?
on.
Yeah. Just like all my doors were open all the
I
time.
feel like
There's
you
like
are the prime
people
demographic
out
to
and
get solar
about
panels for
doing
real.
crazy stuff. I've been thinking about
But
it.
it does seem
But
like
now
a
that I
rich
have-
man's
now that I
game.
have the
That's why
expert-
I ain't
Well, that's what I'm
looking-
talking. But if you have an era where you have tax incentives, or you have this sort of deferred
Right.
investment,
Yeah.
where you're like,
Also
look,
has.
if
You
I
should probably
have
go ahead and get some.
a tax incentive, if I have a relatively high utility bill
Yes.
anyway, and you're saying that up front in 7 years I can break even,
Yeah, exactly.
like, yeah,
That's
let's do
usually
that.
what we say.
Look, I bought my house and built my house in 2020. My next move is into the ground. Right? We're gonna be here, so let's
We're
do
not
that.
leaving.
Right? I can't afford to leave. Right? The rate that they were giving out during COVID, I can't afford to go anywhere. So we here. Let me ask you a question about cars. Again, in sort of the context of ease of access, do you think that's going to work in the favor of the consumer, right? Because again, if we say we want cleaner cars, we want hybrid cars, we want electric cars, they're more expensive at present.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that normalizing? Like, do you think that the incentives will align where that if we're going to keep driving, I don't know that we ever get to a place where like people walk or
You mean
bike
like
or
electric
scooter
vehicles?
or
Is that
whatever.
what you're-
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a thing that you see? Because it was really hot 5 years ago.
Like
8
an
years
EV?
ago. Yeah, that was like the thing. Everyone was like, yeah,
Yeah.
we're doing it.
Yeah.
I'm out. We're not. And then it was kind of like, well, they're really expensive. So I'm just going to kind of we're going to work my way back into sort of these gas-powered vehicles. Is it coming back in vogue? Is it? You look like you got something you want to say.
Well, I was going to say, I heard once that, like, the idea that you're saving something, even if that's the environment or money, by getting an EV, actually is not offset by the fact that if you just gotten a car that was already made, like, instead of, like, changing all of our cars to EV is not going to save the planet, it's going to hurt the planet. Instead, we just get used cars. Just like if they say you go to a thrift store, like, used things are good things.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about because it
Take it.
already exists?
Yeah, like the
it's
metal is
already
already made.
already in the market?
Throwing out and putting 6 Toyota Camrys out back because they're not EVs
Right.
doesn't save the planet like just selling all the EVs and making cars that we need, right? Like not making any more cars than we need to make because we have so many choice. Like,
So let me ask you a different version of that question. Let's hold. I don't know that that's true. Let's assume it's true.
Yeah.
Right? Was much of the sort of EV craze kind of a quasi lefty virtue signal more than an actual thing that worked? Like, was it like, hey, look at me, I'm being environmentally conscious, instead of a kind of like, oh, this thing actually is pro-social?
I feel again, this is not within my line of work. You know,
Right.
I mean, we focus on
You're
You're allowed to
electrification.
speculate wildly
Yeah,
on
we
this
can
show. I
just
think that we
speculate.
just-
Hypothesize.
If I'm taking off my leap cap
Yeah,
for a
sure.
second, I do think that maybe in some capacity that's true because I mean South Park even made a whole episode making fun of people who had electric vehicles. Like, like they were like driving in smog and stuff. Like
Yeah.
So like I think that like thanks.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
sure.
I feel like when it comes to electric vehicles, we should absolutely be making strides to switch to them. But
Okay.
I also don't think that we're there yet. And I think that the craze that we saw, the rise that we saw, was people being excited without thinking about the
How we
actual.
get there?
Yeah, without I think people went into it with very good intentions,
Yeah.
and they were absolutely very happy to do to make that switch. But like Marky pointed out, does that really offset the things that are already being done?
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Like solar, you can make the argument that
Yeah.
okay, the extraction of these materials that was made to make these panels overall
Yes,
is
I agree.
less than the amount of energy you can get, on the home.
Agree.
Okay.
But with electric vehicles, unless they stop producing normal cars,
Right.
which they're not
They're
going
not
to do,
going to.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
it seems like it's a little bit more difficult to offset anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Interesting.
and I mean, besides Tesla, there are a lot of different really good electric vehicle options. So like we're seeing like the market open up with more options, but people aren't stopping with normal cars.
That's right.
Because those are very expensive.
Yeah, sure.
So I don't know. It's complicated.
Yeah.
I can't really. I'm not an expert. I can't really.
Me, I am not an expert at literally anything, but we get on here and I say things. I'm like, I heard. I read an article title once.
Sure. Didn't read the article.
Yeah. But I read an article title that kind of implied to me the article would be about the fact in which we're not offsetting the cost of like the materials made and cars made by doing EV.
Yeah.
Right now.
I also feel like people are just less likely to buy cars new now. Like when I see a commercial for like a 2025 Kia,
Agree.
whatever, I'm like, I
think we're like 5 to 7 years behind. So like no one's buying a 2025, they're buying a 2029.
Yeah.
Not 2019.
Into the future.
Yeah, no. 2020 a 2020 car
They'll make it.
is new. You know, like no one's, for the most part, that I know, are buying a 2025 car in 2025. That's crazy.
Yeah, when I hear someone has like a 2020 car, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, you get into the 2020s, I'm like, this a new ride.
Yeah,
literally.
My car's from 2011.
I had a car from 2002.
Right now, what do you have?
No, now I have a 2012.
2012. 2011, what is you?
18, I think.
So that's new. That's a new car.
His house and everything.
Okay, big shot.
Listen, I got kids, y'all. I gotta put those car seats in something reliable.
You need to get you a minivan.
Oh my
I'm
God,
working on
you
it.
should get a
I'm
minivan.
all in. My wife
Are
is
you a
not.
minivan guy?
Are you kidding me? Absolutely.
Oh my! I don't know if you seem
For
like a
what?
minivan guy.
What am I trying to be? Right?
I'm no better than the next
I turned
man.
30.
I'll drive my
I turned 37 on Wednesday, and I got a knee brace. I'm not cool anymore.
Happy
I'm not.
birthday!
What am I trying to do? Ride around here in like a some kind of cool SUV? Put that minivan in there. Give me space. Give me seats that swivel. Give me the whole thing.
Give yourself
man.
10 more years until you get into your midlife crisis car.
Oh, yeah, what would you get? What would you get?
A midlife. If I was a
You
midlife
gotta
crisis guy,
it's sports. It's
Sports.
It's hybrid.
it wouldn't be small.
Okay, good. I hate a small.
I can't do a two-door thing. See,
I hate a
I'm
two-door thing.
practical,
Stress me
right?
out.
I'm practical.
I hate a
like,
two-door thing.
I will be carting children around for the next 6. My daughter's 5 for the next 15.
But by the time you get to your midlife
years.
crisis car, you already got her a car.
Okay, so
You
we're
don't gotta worry
assuming
about
that.
her or
Okay, so
him.
we're assuming
Like
that
in, like, your
they
50s.
they
Yeah,
have
like
cars.
you want to ride, Clyde. It's
Ooh,
Yeah.
interesting. If I had to get one, I think I would probably, I don't know, I'd get some sort of SUV.
an SUV as your
Yeah.
midlife
Like
crisis
a
car.
Yeah.
Truck.
Not like a big one.
Yeah, I would either go big or go small.
I would, if we're for the sake of this exercise, I would see myself in some sort of like.
You don't have like a dream car? Like,
No.
My dream car is it was a purple Escalade.
ooh.
Oh, okay.
I want a Mini Cooper so I can
Oh,
have. I want to
wow,
have like the
okay.
sunglasses. I just have like,
Like
these
the-
dreams.
Yeah, I know, right?
The Great
Yeah,
Britain
what is
flag
your,
on the
what is your
headlights.
dream car? That's
I've
what
never,
we mean.
here's the thing. I've never been a car guy, and it's partially because my parents were never car people.
Yeah.
The first thing I learned about cars was that they're rapidly depreciating assets.
Yep.
like
I
that.
found that
That
out
was
late, but yes.
I will never forget. Like my lasting memory of all the cars that we. The first car that I drove was a 1987 BMW 325. It was a 5-speed. It had a phone in it, like a car phone.
Ooh.
1980
Fancy.
Like a
BMW.
Time,
Get
though.
Smart car phone.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and this is in how old? I'm 37. This was in 2004. And I had a
1980
1987
oh, Lord.
BMW 325. So my entire, I had a 1988 Honda Accord. Like my cars have forever just been like
Old.
relatively utilitarian.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
gets you from A to B. But I remember very
all you
vividly
need.
being like, this is, the second you drive that thing off the lot, you're down.
Yeah, it's down.
20%,
Yeah.
25%.
Which is
ba-da-da-da,
crazy.
right? So I've
It's
never been a car
the
guy.
worst type of value to own.
It's the worst. And then again, you have kids, and you're like, okay, your car immediately. The second you put a child in it, it's useless.
Crayons, markers, all
Oh,
over.
there's just goldfish everywhere, and like all
I
kind of
love
other stuff.
goldfish.
So yeah, they're great. They're
I like
great
goldfish.
until you discover them in like places they shouldn't be, like the backs of seats and under the stuff. But yeah, okay. If I'm 50 in full midlife crisis mode and I've changed my point of view on cars, I'd get a Range Rover or something.
Yeah.
Range Rover's like the
Yeah.
go-to.
I do
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a Range
yeah.
Rover.
Yeah, give me a dark sort of like heather green Range Rover.
Yeah, I want a
tan
huge
interior.
SUV.
There you go.
That's me.
Really?
Like, in a cool color.
What about like one of those big Fords?
The extended
This,
back.
like super
So-
duper suburban.
So I went on a trip when I was in college where we rented a vehicle,
Okay.
and it was like an extended back like Tahoe.
Oh, God.
And I was driving, and I was like, "Oh, like
This is my dream.
Really?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah." So
man.
I love a big. Yeah, so and the reason I wanted a purple Escalade is because I was watching Deal or No Deal. I was like 10 years old watching Deal or No Deal, and they gave away a green, like an apple green Escalade,
Okay.
and I was like, oh yeah, like I want it in
Yeah.
purple. That's what I want to do.
Is purple your favorite color?
Purple is my favorite
it's my
color.
favorite
Yeah.
color too. Oh my gosh,
Y'all
first
are
So-
just
we're
vibing
friends.
over here.
So I
Yeah.
wanted a Escalade, and now I have a small like sedan or whatever. But
That's an
I
SUV.
can
That's an
see
SUV.
myself riding large.
Go to exhibit, get a fish tank in there
I know, right? I want my thing to be
for old times'
all the
sake.
stuff.
Yeah. Jay, let me ask you a question. How do you personally sort of stay motivated, interested? You know, you seem relatively optimistic, right? So how and
I love
you know
that.
how do you maintain that? Is it real? Are you just like that? Is it manufactured? Are you like every day just like, all right, I got to stay with it?
No, I just that's just me. I've always been a very optimistic person.
Yeah.
When I get pessimistic or I'm like in a bad mood, it's the point where I'm like, why am I in a bad mood? Like I get like
I'm mad about being mad.
I'm like, why am I in a bad
So
mood? I don't know if you guys like Harry Potter, but I'm a full Hufflepuff, so I'm just like, yeah, everybody's this is great all the time. No, but when it comes to staying, motivated through the work I do, I love feeling like I'm making a difference, and I think that's what keeps me in this line of work and keeps me going is the fact that I am able to connect with people and in some way, even if it's like complimenting someone's shoes or like congratulating them on getting solar or whatever, I'm making a positive impact in people's lives, and I think that's really what makes me thrive in nonprofit.
why do you get up and do it every day, Price?
Ooh, it's the right season of life for me. I think it's because I have little kids and I've
Yeah.
seen what can happen to individuals, to families, to people if they're not invested in adequately and properly. And I think I think that it is one of those things that you sometimes you have to get the timing right. I don't know that I would do this 3 years ago or
Right.
5 years from now. I think it
Agreed.
just so happened that because my kids are of that age, because I'm sort of in that era, I have sort of enough insight and energy to do it. But you know this, and I tell people this all the time, that like this job, I got 2 or 3 more years because I think that it's just one of those things that you run out of gas
You ever say you burn
pretty
out, right?
quickly. Yeah. And I think someone else who's in that frame of mind will do a good job of taking up that mantle. But they caught me at the right time. They caught me at the time with little kids. Who's got a particular view on a thing, and trying to make it work. What about you?
I don't remember what I asked you.
What makes you
How
good
you
at
makes you
that?
good
how
more?
you keep doing it?
I think that I do it. I'm an extrovert, and I enjoy getting to meet people and hearing, the ways in which we make their lives better.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And in my position, like, I don't necessarily talk to clients every day, but I do get to talk to community partners. I get to like, how do we work together to make your dream come true,
Mm-hmm.
type of thing. In my role and the engagement in the community building that I do. So it's like, I enjoy working with other organizations that aren't as big or as not as known. Like, I like the fact that we can put people on. I like putting people on. I like making sure that they have the resources to do their best work. And I think that's what I like most about it. And I get to like be creative. I get to decide how things are made and how we are involved in those things.
Yeah.
And so like in my day of caring volunteerism is like I get to talk to all the nonprofits in the planning district. And I'm like, how do we make your work better? Like, you want me to send you 30 volunteers to rebuild the roof?
Right.
Is that what you need? As long as they don't fall off, we can do it.
Yeah, that's right.
And like being able to like someone telling me what they need
Yeah.
and me finding out how to get that thing done for them feels super powerful. Like those
Right.
things have been like, before I started working on Day of Caring, I don't think I knew or had a direction on why I was there.
Yeah.
But getting Day of Caring was super big for me. I was like, oh, that's why I'm here. Like
Interesting.
that's the thing I need to be working on. And before I didn't know why I was there.
Huh.
Yeah. So Day of Caring for sure. And then, most recently having the opportunity to do the show.
Yeah.
I wish I could have gotten here sooner.
Yeah.
I love to hear. I want to hang out.
Yeah, like
Invite me
I wish I could have gotten to
anytime.
the show sooner. This makes me feel great, like giving a platform to people to tell their stories. Even people don't know that they had a story to
Yeah,
tell.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
we
yeah.
yip yap and we didn't know we had nothing to yap about.
Yeah, exactly.
So these two things have always felt like the reason that I'm at the United Way. Like to do the Day of Caring, to be on the radio. Those two things are the most powerful things to me. And like I don't know what I would do without them. So
Yeah.
there it goes.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
you're just making. I think that's why we've remained in nonprofit.
Yeah.
Like I said, like we're both kind of contributing to the goal of making a difference for people.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And day of caring is a really, really powerful
Thank you.
event. I was actually talking with some of my team members, like, how can we, what do we need? Because I'm
Look
I'm
around.
trying
Look
to
around.
think.
Look, the floor is dirty. Let's get some volunteers down there. I try to tell people, like, you telling me you don't have nothing that need to be done? You got some, like, girl, I can send somebody down there with rags and wipe the windows.
We were thinking we have a warehouse that needs organizing, and I was like, maybe that could be something.
Yeah, no, absolutely. People do organize all the time. Like, cars to donate. I tell people, okay, great, you don't have a location, like, but do you have donors? Like, these people will write donor card, like, thank you cards to donors.
Sure.
Yeah, like, you don't have to have your development staff out here writing thousands of thank you cards. Like, we do. I guess it's a day of care and plug. Amen.
Yeah.
Amazing. I have to talk to you more about that.
So if people want to get with Leap and figure out more about how you can help them be more energy efficient, how do they get in touch with you guys?
Yeah, so you can email us at info@leap-va.org, or you can go to www.leap-va.org, and you can learn more about our different we call pillars of energy, which would be like solar energy, energy efficiency, and electrification. Or you can just sign up for a free, not free, but you can sign up for an assessment with us. You can also go to the Energy Resource Hub at www.energyresourcehub.org. And there you can sign up for a free one-on-one consultation with our energy navigator and just figure out what you need to do, what you got going on. Solarize Virginia, for those of you who want to go with solar and you have the means to go solar, we basically connect you with vetted installers and help you through the contract process so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. That starts April 15th, so feel free to go to www.solarizeva.org. And I am Jala, and you can email me at jalat@leap-va.org. Cool.
Yeah?
Want to close us out?
Bring it home.
Thank you, guys.
How was that? Not too bad, huh?
Mm-hmm. That was fun.
Big thanks to Jayla. If you have ideas for the show, want to get in touch with us, make sure you find us on social media on all platforms at United Way Seaville, at City of Promise, or the inbox is open. Envision at UnitedWaySeaville.org. One more time, Jayla, how do folks get in touch with you guys? Right, just the short version.
Email info@leap-va.org.
info@leap-va.org. Make sure, again, you also check out the Energy Resource Hub and Solarize Virginia coming in a month and on April 15th. We get support on the show from our friends at the United Way and at City of Promise. And, of course, if you like what you hear, share this with your friends, subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. And, of course, the best way to help these local, lovely Charlottesville nonprofits is consider making a contribution, time, talent, or treasure. That's how we continue to do this work and this show. Big thanks again to our friends, our sponsor, the Jefferson School Foundation. And for Jayla and Marky, this is Bryce. Beware the Ides of March.
Peace.
See you next week.
Peace.